Thought I could count on you. I thought we had a deal. I gave you all I had. Put you in front of friends. It was me and you. For it was one of them. I introduced you to them. I should have seen it then. It was never about me. It's what I could do for you. What you could get about me. Who I could introduce you to. I knew the truth. Still there was nothing I would do for you. A fool for you. You break my legs. Still jump through hoops for you. I thought we had a deal. 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 It's hard to let you go when I'm still holding on. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, should be moving on. This shit is stupid hard, and I ain't ready for it. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, I ain't ready for it. They weren't there for it, no, they weren't there, were they? They weren't there when she despaired to have her prayers working. She wanted to die daily, and I was 9 maybe. I'm on the couch with mom, talking about don't cry baby. We'll be alright baby, yeah we gon' make it through. I'm scared to death inside, but I know I can't let it through. I didn't know where to turn, I didn't know what to do. You gave me hope when there was none, I owe my life to you. I thought we had a deal.
Leave me not ready to let you go, let you go. I'm begging, don't leave me. Take anything you want, everything if you want it.
You gave my life purpose before it had any. You gave me courage when I didn't have any. We were the best of friends before I had any. I gave you all I had. You turned your back to me. You set a trap for me. I never seen it coming. You had me blind to if I didn't want to feel you numb it. You left my life a wreck, and I hate you for it. I'm still in love with you, and I hate you for it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to St. John Live on this Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. My name is Mike St. John. I'm in long-term recovery. Sobriety clean date, June the 1st, 2016. We do recover. Recovery is possible, and God could and would if he were sought. I'm back. I missed a few weeks. We've been busy down here in Richmond, Kentucky, but I'm back tonight. I want to give a shout-out to everybody that follows me, tunes in, shares this. Man, I appreciate y'all's support. I'm going to give a shout-out to my page sponsors, One Stop Phone Shop in London, Kentucky, 606-657-2750, Josh Maxey and Daryl Hudson. One Stop Phone Shop, London, Kentucky. Adam Larkin with GetLive.com. Got this fresh hoodie dropped off here the other day. He's always hooking me up with this fresh gear. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out on GetLive.com. If y'all don't care, post your sobriety clean dates in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. And as I get ready to post mine. But yeah, male and female beds available. 859-300-1503. Corbin's House, Jasmine's House, the Protea Center out of Somerset, Kentucky. They have beds available. We have beds available. Listen, I was on the phone here right before me and my guest. We was chopping it up in the background here, and I got a good friend, man. That's he finally admitted, he messed up. But if y'all don't care, man, throw some prayers out for him, man, that he gets a grip, because he's not in jail and he's not dead yet, but he knows the outcome. And all we can do is pray for him. But I'm going to get in these comments, give some shout outs here. Got Pam Villager watching from Washington State. Kelly Gabbard, we love you. Curtis Collins, I see you from Richmond, Kentucky. Whitney Gale, that's our peer support. Welcome, 61220. Joe and Crystal Van from Corbin, Kentucky. That's all we got in these comments here. Hit that share button if y'all don't care, man. But it's been it's been a long 2 days. My wife's been out of town. She finally got back here a few minutes ago. She's tired, but, she took the babies and let me do my live, man, because you never know. I mean, you never know what this message may be, the shining light to somebody that's out there sick and suffering. And, that's what this is about. Let me answer this. but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my guest on here, man. I've been watching this guy for about a year now, and now about maybe 8 months, and I've seen his before pictures, man. And to see him today, man, sitting behind the desk right here in a minute, y'all gonna see him too, man. It's a hope shot to a lot of people because he's got a powerful story, and I can't wait to hear it. I've never heard it, and I reached out to him, and he committed. So here he comes. Kenny, what's going on, big guy?
What's up, big dog?
Buddy, I'm glad to have you on here, man.
Glad to be on here.
Like I was telling them, man, I've been following you here for a while, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I don't know when we became friends on Facebook, but I looked at your before pictures today, man, and it was it was pretty sad for real, but it just shows, man, the depths of hell we will go to in the grip of addiction or alcoholism, whatever your drug of choice is. Mine's all of everything. But you know what I'm saying? To see you where you're at today, doing what you're doing, smiling. I mean, you look better today. You know what I'm saying? That's a hope shot. That's a hope shot for a lot of people, man. And that's it's amazing, man, just to see you right here compared to where you come from, man.
Yeah, I love those before and after pictures because it reminds me of that pain. You know what I mean? I don't regret that stuff anymore because I can use it in my story, but to help somebody. But I remember that pain, man.
It was painful, bro. Like for real. I was like, wow. I mean, your spirit was gone, man.
Gone, dude. For real.
Well, listen, man. Kenny, he works for Lake Cumberland Recovery, man, and he just got done working here like a few minutes ago. But he's decided, to come on and share his story. But Kenny, I'm gonna hand it over to you, man. Tell us what it's like, what happened, and what it's like today.
All right. Well, yeah, man, I just worked a 13-hour shift at Lake Cumberland Recovery, man. I'm blessed to be able to get to do this in my life. You know what I mean? I never thought possible that life after addiction even existed, man. Like I was telling you earlier, man, I was going to die with that needle in my arm, and that was totally fine as long as I could continue to get high, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy, So, man, listen, I'll start where it started for me, man, when I was 12 years old. My whole family was in addiction. So I was brought up in the atmosphere where addiction was okay. You know what I mean? Like that was just what we did. My whole family, I was getting beers from my dad out of the cooler when I was 12 years old, and it wasn't nothing for him to say, son, sit down and have you a few with me, And then my mom, she became my best friend, using buddy. You know what I mean? Yep. She thought I was in the neighborhood smoking pot. So her theory was, and I get this now, that she was just doing the best that she could at the time, man, because she had me when she was 15. You know what I mean? She was just, There ain't no book on how to raise a kid, how to do this stuff. So she just, bless her heart, she thought she was doing right by me. She said, well, if you're going to smoke pot in the neighborhood, you're going to smoke it right here, and you're going to do it with me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's what my dad told me. He's like, man, if you're going to get high at the house, but don't let your mom find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, man, I remember doing that, and, that's just twisted thinking. So my house became the cool house on the block. From that point on, Kenny's mom smoking pot with us. We go there and get high, do what we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had stepdad in my life at all this time. But like I said, my mom and my dad was in addiction. So, man, I'd find like methadone bottles, pills. I was taking trips to my stepdad to Mexico. First time I took some pills, man, I took some Valiums. We just went over there and bought when I was like 14, 15 years old, man. I just remember feeling, they made me feel amazing. Right. Valiums, man. They just made me like I didn't have a care in the world. I wasn't brought up in church or anything, man. So I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? So I grew up where my whole family was we just did it, man. That's what we did. I got two beautiful sisters. They grew up in the same atmosphere. I love them to death. But thank God, they turned out all right. My sister Savannah's celebrating 10 years.
Awesome.
Coming in 10 years, dude, off of all opiates and pain pills. I'm so proud of her. I love her so much. Awesome. She's one of my biggest support systems. So, man, when I was about 15, 16, 17, I started high school, man. I got that high school sweetheart. That first love, right? It was amazing. But, man, my disease progressed real fast, dude. I remember I was 18 years old. I was already smoking PCP and shooting cocaine at 18 years old, dude. one night, man, I remember hearing the helicopter over the house was passing. It turned out to be Life Flight, man. We sent one of my buddies out. He was going to go pick up an 8-ball of cocaine and come back. And I just remember those helicopter, man, over the house. And he came back in and he said that my girl's name, Crystal Holloway, was her name. She had passed away in a car accident. Crushed me, man. Crushed me from that point on, like crushed my spirit. You know, that was my first love. I love that girl with my whole heart. And
now, was this in Florida?
This was in Texas at the time. I was in Houston, Texas, where I graduated high school and stuff. And that's where I wanted to. My mom at the time, she left to come back to Florida to be with her family and stuff. And I stayed in Houston because I love Crystal so much. And I just wanted to graduate high school. Man, so that destroyed me, dude. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything, man. My disease slowly progressed. Not slowly, rapidly after that, man. I just went all in. I started going through using women. You know what I mean? Every woman I met, like I would compare her to Crystal and they would never add up. You know what I mean? So I went through a lot of women. And I see my addiction playing out in my early childhood, man, because I was always focused on the next best material thing, next best truck, next best job. None of that stuff will make me happy. None of that stuff will fulfill me. You know what I mean? So I was always chasing something else. So when I went to the dentist, man, about 21 years old, and I got one wisdom tooth pulled, and he wrote me a script of 60 Lortabs with 3 refills, I found my one true love. You know what I mean?
Here I come.
Listen, I could work all day, dude. I could work all night. I could, have sex longer. I thought I was Superman. Yeah. Right? I thought I was going to work, killing it, working long hours. And then something crazy happened, right? I didn't know nothing about being sick. I ran out. What? Then I couldn't work, dude. I couldn't do anything, right? I couldn't even get out of bed. I didn't even know what sickness was. Had no clue, man. But from that point on, man, opiates became my love. Yep. You know what I mean? So finally, staying in Houston, man, I was getting Lortabs, somas and stuff, seeing doctors, buying them off the streets, had a good job, good money. I did meet a good girl, man. Her name was Kara Petrish. We were together 7 years, man. She's a good girl. She was going to college. Like her family loved me so much, dude. And all they wanted me to do was take care of her daughter and do the next right thing. But my disease progressed, man. And finally, and good girls only take so much before they leave you. Yep. You know what I mean? She gave me a few chances. You know what I mean? Finally, one day I leave to go to work, man. And I'm just doing the most, man. We got our own apartment. I leave to go to work one morning, dude. And I forget something back in the house. And the key is going off my thing. I can't get back in the house.
No.
So yeah. So man, after that, yeah, that was crazy, dude. And look, she didn't talk to me for 10 years after that. 10 years. But I finally did talking back to her, man, making some amends, making that stuff right, letting her know what I was going through. So man, I burnt every bridge in Houston, had nowhere to go. Right. So now I'm running back to Mama, Florida. Coming back to Florida. Panama City, Florida, man. My whole family's in Florida. And that's when things got worse, dude. Listen, I got to Florida. I didn't know about no Oxycontin, no big stuff, you know what I mean? Dilaudid and all that kind of good stuff. I got to Florida, man, and just went off and running on that. Like I said, I'd already been using the needle since I was 18. So, once I got my hands on the pills, man, the Roxys and all that stuff, man, it just got crazy, dude.
Yep.
Got crazy fast. So the thing about my mom, my grandma comes in the picture now. I was grandma's boy too, man. They're in addiction. My grandma's getting these oxys. You know what I mean? She's getting 200. She's getting like 180 80s a month, 240 40s a month. She throw me the 40s off the rip. And it was my job for the rest of the month to steal her pills.
Yep.
Full time. You know what I mean? Like, my every thought and action was centered and focused on how I was getting more of these pills, dude. And it's crazy, man. Like, the stuff our addiction makes us do, dude. Like, my grandma got to the point, and that's what's sick about it is I knew she needed these pills, dude. Yeah. Not only was she addicted, she's in pain. You know what I mean? She had some real pain going on, and I didn't care. You know what I mean? My thinking, I had to get them pills. She got to the point where she slept with those pills between her legs, dude. And I would find a way to get them pills from between my grandma's legs, right? And it didn't matter if it was her last one and she was fixing to be sick and all that stuff. Like my addiction told me I had to have the next one no matter what.
Yep.
Right, man. She got to a point. I remember she got a little safe, put the key around her neck, like on one of these things right here, son. And I could lie and manipulate my mom. You do what's real bad is I manipulated their love for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That hurts. I manipulated their love for me because I knew they wouldn't sit there and see me sick, or I could lie and tell them I'm hurting. Grandma, just hook me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mom, or whatever.
yeah, I know.
Dude, like that's crazy, man. Looking back on that stuff, man. Like I said, I'm not ashamed of that stuff anymore because I can use it in my story, and I know that's going to help somebody. You know, it's horrible, man. So, anyways, listen, it was my full-time job, and that key wasn't around her neck, so I'd make a distraction over here. Pay attention over here. I'd have Grandma running outside. Grandma, somebody threw a brick at your car. She'd go out there running to the car. I'm in the safe, getting these Oxycontin out. You know what I mean? That's horrible, man. So it got to the end, man, when my grandma passed away of old age and stuff. You know, I just remember I was too sick, man, to go to my grandma's funeral.
Yep.
You know, man, that hurts because I loved my grandma. I was a grandma's boy. She called me her little man. You know what I mean? And that type of stuff hurts, man. The same thing with my mom. Like, same thing. My mom had a safe. And I remember just doing the most I could to get in this safe. Like I had dual cell phones set up. So I put a cell phone in the closet so I could see the combination to the safe, man. I got in there and I just robbed and stole, man. I stole everything from her. You know what I mean? She wrote, I found a note and it said, you are a no good effing piece of crap, liar and thief with no morals or values, you effing dog. What do you want left? My soul? And she said, you're not going to get it. And, you know, that statement was true at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? I done the same thing.
That statement was so true, man, because I just robbed and took, man, until there wasn't nothing left, man. It got to the point. You know, my mom was in addiction. Like I said, she isolated. You know how we do. My mom would literally get out the house once a month, dude, to go to the methadone clinic and get her take homes. So she wasn't taking care of herself. Hep C starting getting the best of my mom. Man, and I just remember her towards the end there, she was in pain. Like her feet and stuff would just swell all up and stuff, man. About to bust. And she'd be in the next room, bro, like crying in agonizing pain. And she wasn't there fully mentally neither. But I wouldn't get out of bed, dude, and check on my poor mom in the next room, the woman who gave birth to me, if I didn't have a pill in me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Man, listen, I'll tell you, and this is something right here, man, that I like to share this, but it was something I was real ashamed for. So when I finally did get some medicine in me, got right, you know what I mean, and was able to call my sisters and stuff over there, and we were able to call ambulance over there and get her in the hospital. She basically pretty much went on the breathing tube and stuff. She was real sick in the hospital, man. Fighting for her life. My mom's on life support, so my family's having to feed me dope to keep me in this hospital to stay with my mom. You know what I mean? And you know what I did in the hospital, John? I freaking was sucking the fentanyl out of her drip while my mom was on life support. That's the kind of stuff, man, I did. Like, dude, I'm telling you, this stuff had a hold of me like no other. You know what I mean? And thank God that when she did pass, my family members knew that they had to feed me full of dope to go to my mom's funeral and to handle all the stuff that we had to take care of. Because they know if I didn't have it, I just wasn't going to do it, man.
No.
Like, for real. So, man, you know, I never had to grow up. You know what I mean? Because I could always live with my mom or my grandma or my granddaddy or get money and pills. And I never had to get a job. And I never had to be a man. I never was taught how to be a man or anything. Any responsibilities I didn't have to deal with because I could just lie, cheat, manipulate my way. Right. So after all that stuff, man, this was about 6 months after Hurricane Michael hit Panama City and just destroyed Panama City. I thank God within a 6 month period of time, dude, I lost my grandma. I lost my mom. my real dad, who I didn't know that well, and lied about his funeral, saying I was going to go to his funeral to get dope from my mom to make her feel sorry for me, by the way, and didn't end up going.
Right.
I lost my granddaddy, my mom, my grandma, my real dad, my stepdad, and 2 great uncles within a 6-month period of time, dude. And I was lost. You know what I mean? I was on the streets of Panama City. The city was ripe for the taking. You know, after Hurricane Michael, I was going in churches, pawn shops, pharmacies, just doing the most, right? But I was homeless because I had nowhere to go. I didn't have mommy or grandma to cry to anymore. You know what I mean? Looking back, man, I think it's God kind of giving me a message saying, listen, dude, it's time to grow up. You know what I mean? Time to do something with yourself. So, man, I'm out here just homeless, eating out of dumpsters because I ain't spending any money I got on food or self-care. I'm in nasty, like going months and months and months without taking showers at a time. Panama City's rough, man. There ain't no recovery community like we have here in Kentucky. It's such a blessing, this recovery community we have, man. So, man, I finally got caught up with the police, dude. You know, got set up. I think it was when I got that COVID money, whatever, that $1,400. I went and went and gave all that money to the plug. Got me a nice sack. You know what I mean? I got caught. Possession, heroin, possession of fentanyl, possession of methamphetamine. I think I stayed 2 weeks in the county jail and they let me out. 18 months probation. Praise God. I'm out running and doing the same thing I was doing. That ain't no time, you know what I mean? So I had to go report to probation. I got out on Friday. I reported to probation Monday. Lit up. I burnt that cup up so bad. And he was just doing a baseline test. He was going to see where my baseline was.
Right. Yeah.
But listen, man, I've been to prison a few times. I'm in and out of jail this whole time, man. I skipped over all that, you know. Spurts of sobriety. I'm sitting in jail. You know that thing. I'm never doing that again. Right?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, dude, I'm not going out there. And I never knew what it was that would make me the first place I would go. I remember my sister picking me up. Sis, please give me $20 and drop me off here at the dope man's house. Like I could not figure out why I wanted to, man. Even though I wanted to, like I wanted to quit and couldn't. You know, I was out there using against my will, dude. And I think I was, you know, deep down, I was just trying to, like I said, man, I was happy with the thought of dying with a needle in my arm as long as I could continue to get high. Or I was listening to Andrew Hager, and he said, you know, he'd like to think that if he had the balls and he had a gun, he'd pull the trigger. Well, the truth of the matter is, dude, I would have went and pawned that gun to get the next one. You know what I mean? I just didn't see a solution, man. I didn't see a way out.
So how long was you homeless? How long was you homeless and all that? Years,
dude. 3 or 4 or 5 years. This is towards the end that I'm getting at right now of my homelessness. I was out. I seen that probation officer Monday. That Friday, not 1 week out, I'm actually on probation, dude. I get busted again. Trafficking heroin, trafficking fentanyl, trafficking meth. Right at this point, you know, God's doing for me what I can't do for myself. You know what I mean? So I get in court, I get in jail, man. And the lawyer calls me on his phone and he gives me this plea offer. And he said, I got a plea offer for you. We want to give you 4 months in the Bay County Jail Lifeline Rehabilitation Program, followed by no probation. 4 months in the county jail for 3 trafficking charges. When my dumb self says, what about the probation I just signed? So that's a violation of probation on 3 possession charges with 3 trafficking charges. And he said, well, I didn't know you were on probation. I'm going to take that plea back. Right. So I found myself, dude, in this COVID cell. Right. I'm locked down by myself. I got a Bible and a big book, AA big book. It wasn't a big one. It was one of the small ones. Right? But I started reading that book, dude. And I was just like, man, these crackers wrote a book about me. Like I can relate to everything in that book. The Bible started talking to me. I found myself in this cell in tears, you know, and I didn't know how to pray. I found myself on my knees in the cell, man, and I prayed to God, and all I knew how to say was, help me. I don't know how to quit using drugs. You know, I'm starting to get emotional right now thinking about it because it was so powerful, man. It came over me, just something came over me. So I went back to court. God worked in my life immediately. I went back to court. The court's messed up. Something. I got the same plea deal. Right, 4 months in Bay County. I'm signing as fast as I can. Right. But so when I was in this is an intensive treatment program in the Bay County Jail. I started really applying myself, man. I started journaling every day, writing these lessons out, getting up, making my bed, doing all the things that they wanted me to do. For one, because I was tired. I was sick and tired. For two, I had to graduate that program to get out of jail with no probation. You know what I mean? So I had to. Took me 8 months to complete that program. I got kicked out for gambling. Then I had to come find my way back in. They kicked me out for like 60 days to come back in. But anyways, it took a little bit for me, man. And I got this guy's number from the Bay County Jail, Gerald McIntosh. God literally saved my life, man. I called him up, and he has a construction business down there in Panama City, Florida. The day I got out of jail, I called this man, and he put me up in like one of his sober living apartments there. Didn't charge me no rent or nothing. Gave me a full-time job, working construction, and just believed in me. You know what I mean? He gave me a shot, right? He believed in me, man. And I was going to church. So I got 8 months clean time from the jail, and I made it 2 months. 10 months sober. I made it, right? Longest I've ever had since I started smoking pot with my mom at 15. So this is how powerless I am. A prime example of how this stuff just takes me, man. So I started, that lie we tell ourselves, right? Like, I'm healthy, dude. I got 10 months sober. I done gained all this weight back, right? From looking like death on a stick. I can go out and get some stuff they sell at the gas station and get high. Talking about them Zazas. I know you know what I'm talking about. Man, I believe that lie, dude. And listen, from the first time I took those first 2 pills, dude, I gave up that truck that I had. I gave up that job I had, that place, that relationship with my sisters I had mended already. I gave all that stuff up in an instant, dude. And I was homeless, back on the streets. Started off taking the 2 pills, but my tolerance level builds up so high, man. I'm spending a lot of money, taking like 5-6 bottles of this stuff a day. Got to the point where I couldn't hide it no more, bro. And I called myself wanting to save money, so I ordered the stuff offline, right? Where they ship me the pure chemical. What do I do with the pure chemical? I shoot at my arms. You know what I mean? I got scars, dude. Listen, this stuff is nasty, dude. It tore me up and took me down through there. I started getting these big, my arms are so scarred up right now. You probably seen them before, but big whelps, man, big bumps on my shoulder right here. They wasn't healing. I finally left Gerald's place, man, and went into a little detox center, and they were giving me these antibiotics and stuff. But the stuff wasn't healing. So I had to go to the hospital, and I had to have surgery. And this is my best thinking, dude. They're pumping me full of pain medicine in here. They got me split open 100 different directions from this stuff. They're pumping me with both arms full of antibiotics. Well, my veins are so gone at this point that they got a heart stent in me, right? It's got 3 ports coming out the bottom where they're injecting all this stuff in me. So when they tell me and I'm having fentanyl and heroin stuff brought up to the hospital at this point, I didn't hit the F button all the way. Man, when they tell me I'm discharged and ready to leave, guess what I do? I leave the hospital with this heart stent in my heart so I can inject this stuff, meth and heroin and fentanyl, directly in my heart. This is how bad. Not long after that, dude, I find myself crawling under a porch like this big, digging my way out, running from shadow people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just doing the most. And that picture you see, man, that before picture was me after looking like this and spending 8 months out there, just homeless. And I was living in this trap house, bro. We had six of us living there, half destroyed from Hurricane Michael. We didn't have no running water, no electricity, right? Imagine what that toilet looked like. 6 people detoxing off of fentanyl. And I wasn't going to get no water unless I had some dope in me to flush this nasty toilet and stuff. Man, the conditions and stuff that I put myself in was unreal. It was just unreal, man. So listen, I went to work one day at this day labor place, man, because I ran out of options. I'm starting to really have to work for my money, even though I can't, everybody's staying away from Kenny. My family, my sister set up a good, healthy boundary with me where only time they want to hear from me as if I want treatment. Yep. So by them not helping me was the best help that they could have gave me. You know what I mean? Set up them boundaries, right? So I went to work, man. I get off, take my money, go do what I do. I score me a sack. I come home. The police are at this house. One of my buddies just overdosed and died in this house. I ain't got no rigs on me, and I got this stuff in my pocket. And the only thing that I can worry about is how I'm going to get in there to get my stuff to do this. You know what I mean? I ain't worried about my buddy just passed away, right? And I know that he's going to pass away from the same stuff I got in my pocket. So that didn't stop me, man. I went and I got high somewhere and did my stuff, did my thing, but I didn't want to go back to the house. The police were still there. So I crawl in this dumpster. All right, I'm dumpster diving, eating, just squirreling, doing whatever, tweaking, whatever you want to call it. I ain't going nowhere without my tweaker light. You hear me? But, dude, I was in this dumpster diving, dude, and I needed me one. And I did it. I did one right there in that dumpster, dude, and I OD'd in a dumpster. Wow. Boom. It starts hitting me, dude. Like, I didn't stop at that point, but it wasn't a week or 2 weeks later. I start thinking to myself, like, damn, dude, Kenny's done dead in a dumpster and his body's in a landfill, but ain't nobody checking on Kenny. You know what I mean? I'm out there doing the most, and ain't nobody wants to check on me because I've isolated so much in my addiction. I'd have been dead in the landfill, right? Afterthought. My sisters probably would have grieved a little bit for me, but I ain't impacted nobody's life. I haven't done nothing worthwhile, nothing. So, man, I got to the point to where the day happened, that crossroads. We hit that crossroad where that pain became too much, man. I'm telling you, like, it was weighing on my shoulders and I was too sick. I couldn't get out of bed to chase the next high. You know, I mean, I couldn't lie and manipulate and steal and rob and do what I had to do, dude. It was just too much. So I called Gerald again. He's up here in Kentucky. He got me on a bus ticket to Kentucky, man. And that picture you see is my first day of Lake Cumberland recovery. You know, I came up to Lake Cumberland recovery. I took a two-day bus drive. I did my last shot of fentanyl on a bus station in Jacksonville, Florida, December 16th, 2021. Praise God.
Amen.
Big deal. So I came in, I did the program. So my journey started out, man, I was sick first 2 weeks. Third week, I'm catching COVID. Fourth week comes around, I'm starting to pay attention. My journey started in this thing, man, in the dish pit there, Lake Cumberland Recovery. Got to PHP, man, and I did what I did, man. I started paying attention and I started applying some of the stuff they're teaching me, man. And I've had enough of it, man. So they offered me a job when I got to IOP, house manager. I'm a house manager for one of our sober living houses, driving. And I was driving people to appointments during the daytime for the rehab, and it felt good, man. And listen, I didn't know that I could have a job in recovery. I didn't even know recovery even existed in Florida. You know, I mean, we don't got none of this. Like, Kentucky is a blessing. We get you some insurance, get you some help you need, and there's people here that just want to see people succeed like you, man. That's a big deal, and it's been a game changer for me, bro. So I set some goals, man. I did the Goodwill Rise program. They offered me tons of resources, got me on my feet, man. I took my peer support class, peer support certification now. Man, I tell you what happened though. When I got about 10 months, I was in my job. This is where the magic of the program kicks in, dude. They were paying me to take these guys to the house to AA meetings, right? 5 nights a week. But listen, I never once said that this is my job, like, and sat in a parking lot and not went to a meeting and got something, applied myself and listened, right? And so the magic started kicking in. Then I started looking forward to going to meetings. Then I started building a sober support system that I didn't know nothing about, dude. Like, this stuff, just God knew exactly what I needed for me to stay sober. And it ain't just AA. It's AA, NA, it's CR, it's church. It's being of service, you know, in this program, man. And I get to, today I get to teach peer support classes, dude. Like, all day I get to see people coming into the program broken, and I can put myself in their spot because I came through the whole program. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I can put myself in their spot and see what they want, give them some information and tools to help them, man. It's such a blessing. So I got my peer support certification. I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor associate. I don't know exactly what all that means yet. It's just a fancy initial behind my name. 27 years out there in active addiction, a needle junkie, man. It's a big deal. It really is, man. I got a sponsor I got a sponsor. You know, I'm sponsoring people now, right? Dude, I literally cried my first time when I got a sponsee, and he called me, right? I'm like, dude, that's such a blessing. Somebody's looking up to me. Like, much I looked up to my peer support specialist when I was coming to the program, and just to think that God's placed me in a position that people actually look up to me to do the next right thing, dude. You know what I mean? And so I committed to working on myself, right? Because that's the best way that I know how to help somebody else, dude, is just be that light for somebody. You know what I mean? Because they're paying attention. And guys and girls coming through the program, like, they're watching me, right? And so I just know the best way I can help them, man, is to work on myself. And, dude, listen, I'm doing the thing, dude. It's such a blessing to be here. I'm starting Lindsey Wilson College here this semester coming up for human services and counseling. Fixing to get a new vehicle from the Goodwill Cars to Work program. Got my Hep C cured.
Yep.
That's a big deal, man. I got me some teeth. Listen, I ain't had this right here before.
For real?
Listen, dude, I overdosed and broke both my teeth on this table, my two front teeth. I was toothless, dude. Like, I'm doing the most, man. I got relationships in my life now, man. It's just a true blessing to be doing this thing. Working on 14 months, clean and sober now, man.
That's good.
That's my journey right there, bub.
You've got a powerful story, man. Because a lot of your story is my story, because I grew up the same way. Like, my real dad OD'd, and my stepdad's doing 8 years right now. You know, my other brothers. But long story short, my home that I grew up in, it was normal to see pot, to see pills, to see money. And, you know, every Friday night, there was always like 10 or 20 people stopping by between 6 o'clock, and they had to be gone by midnight. You know what I'm saying? And all of that caught on. But, you know, once I finally realized what was going on, and I started getting high with my stepdad, man, he always said, listen, if you're going to smoke this dope, you know, I started smoking meth at home. Yeah. And he said, if you're going to get high here in the garage. Don't be out driving this and that, because I was driving their cars. But and he always said, don't let your mom find out. And that was a success story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plus all these people was coming in the garage, man. Here I am, you know, hitting the bowl. Didn't even know. I mean, I burnt their dope up for real. My dad used to get on to me, but and then I would go in the house and I'd be up for 3 or 4 days. Mom's like, what's wrong with you? I said, I just can't sleep, Mom. But that was normal, you know, that was normal growing up. You know, the money, the dope, the arguing, the guns. You know, my stepdad he had a bowling bag, and he'd always make me take that bowling bag to my closet. And one day I opened it up, and there was like 25 pistols in it. There was a Desert Eagle about this long. And he said, well, just keep that in your room. And, you know, then he started putting money in my closet, and he's like, you know, if the police was to come in, you all don't know nothing, don't say nothing, but you know, that money's yours. You've been saving money. Yeah. But and you know, I get it today, because you know, my dad is a multi you know, felon, and that's all he knew was to hustle. I mean, working a job that never was. You know, I don't even think my dad really worked a job for real. But you know, I always thought, I mean, I carried that, you know, that reputation, you know what I'm saying? And you mentioned it in your story about what you had, what you drove, what you wore, the shoes, the gold chain. And I'm still guilty for that today, but, you know, I can buy shoes and I ain't got to pawn them or sell them. Yeah. But, you know, I had to let that reputation go, man, back in 2016. You know, I did have the pistol in my lap, cocked with a needle in my arm, and my mom walked in on me. And I know today, my mom finally told me, like, you know, God put it on my heart to check on you, Mike, because I thought you was dead. Wow. And that's the day Mom set her foot down and said, get your you know what and get your you know what out of here. And don't you ever, you know, I mean, she talked to her baby boy crazy. But, you know, and it's crazy because this is the first time I heard your story, man. Your story's a lot like mine. Yeah. You know, the pill trips to Florida, getting the pills that your grandma was getting, that you was stealing. Well, you know, back in the day, I would have loved to known you, man, because I could have took all them. You know what I'm saying?
Linked up, son.
But,
for sure.
But you know, just to be free today, man, and you know, happiness and freedom shines all over you, because I ain't gonna lie, man. Today, I was going to post a picture of your before and after, and the live night, but I got tied up with the kids. Yeah. But you was, bro, like, your before picture, man, you was dead.
I was out there, dude.
Like, you know, and a lot of people don't understand why we post these before and after. Because if you've never if you don't know nothing about addiction, you never understand why we do that, because number one, we don't want to forget the pain.
Yeah.
Number two, that's a reminder that, hey, bro, I put another one in me. I'm going to be right back where I was at, because relapse is not part of my story. Only by the grace of God and a program that I work, knock on wood, I just got today. Tomorrow's not promised.
That's right.
But I never want to forget the pain, because the day we forget what it was like is the day we're going to put one in us, period. You can't change my mind. But to see that picture and then to see you today, like I said earlier, sitting behind the desk, got your name tag on, got your new, like I got, I got the same thing going on here, but, but you're free and you're happy and you tell your story. You know what I'm saying? You're not miserable, bro.
No. Far from it, man.
And you ain't high. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Stuff we was taught. Like we never thought this life was possible, man, for real.
Didn't, man. Had no clue, dude.
And we was wanting to die because we didn't have that pill or that shot to put in us.
Yeah.
That's insanity. That's crazy, for real.
It is, dude.
Like, I can remember holding a knife, running out of dope, and I'm willing to stab my hand to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
To try to get me a script. Like, I remember having that knife, but I was too scared to do it.
Yeah.
Or I'd want to pick up a block and drop it on my foot and break my foot. Man, that's crazy. I know some of y'all in these comments has done that for real.
Yeah. Listen, I used to, man, be excited to go see a dentist. Tell me, I'm getting more. You just pull it. You know what I'm saying? Get it out of there. Because I knew I was getting some pills, Didn't care, man.
No. And, I robbed my mom and dad, stole from them in the safe. Like, my dad bought a safe, and I was on meth for like 5, 6. My brother gave me some dope, and I've been up. But I YouTubed how to break in a safe and put in the model number.
Yeah.
And it showed me, listen, bro, it showed me a video on YouTube, and I was done geeking. So I watched that video for like 9 hours.
Yeah.
And listen, I went in there and broke in my dad's safe, bro. And when that lock popped, listen, I was in like Flynn. You hear me? Listen, I stayed high for I don't know how long till my little brother told on me and they set me up.
Yeah.
But, just the stupid stuff we do. Like, my mom, man, I knew when she went and got her Xanaxes. I knew when she was going. I knew when she was coming home. And every time she come home, she'd set her purse down on the bar and go use the bathroom. And I would army crawl through the hallway and I would take half of her pills, and I'm the only person in the house. And about 20 minutes later, Mom's like, "Mike, you been in my pills?" Nope. No, Mama, I swear to God it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? But I was able to make amends for all that, man. Recovery is possible, man. Today I'm a believer because I didn't believe in nothing but me back almost 7 years ago, man. And I just want to say to you, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep shining, because recovery and God is wrote all over you, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You're imagine you at 3 years where you're going to be at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a minute. Sitting right here tonight, look where you're at 14 months.
Yeah.
Look where you're going in another 2 years, bro.
That's right.
That is powerful. It took me a long time, the kids and everything we got going on, coming up on 7 years, but everything happens for a reason, bro. But I'm telling you, in 2 years, you're going to be, listen, it's untelling, you know what I'm saying? Because you've got the drive for it, bro.
That's right.
And you tell your story like you're an author.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, keep telling your story, bro, because you're going to inspire a lot of people, man. And I want to thank you for sticking and staying and doing what you're doing, working 12, 14 hours a day and getting on this live tonight, because your story carries a lot of weight, bro. And I appreciate you.
No problem, bro. Anytime.
Well, listen, give us a hope shot and we're going to wrap this up.
What you mean?
Just give us a hope shot, bro.
Listen, man, recovery is possible, but just quitting drugs and alcohol ain't gonna cut it, man. You got to put in some work.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's got to get to the root of the problem, baby. The root of the problem is me. Got to figure out why I do the things I do. You know what I mean? Work some steps, get a sponsor, baby. That's what I had to do. I mean, it helps out a lot, man.
Yes, sir. Listen, I love you. I appreciate it, bro. And thank you.
I love you, bro.
All right. I'll see you. Holler if you need me.
See you, bud.
See you later. Yes, sir. Kenny with a powerful story, man. That's the first time I heard his story. Like I said, I've been following him, man. And if you see his before picture on Facebook, you're gonna be like, wow. But you know, we're just messengers, man. Me and him was chopping it up earlier, and you know, we was talking about titles. And you know, I don't go by a title today, man. I'm a messenger and a messenger of God, because you know, without God, I don't believe I'd be where I'm at today. You know, that's my story. It don't got to be yours. But you know, I talk to my God like I'm talking to Kenny tonight, talking to you all. When I'm going through some stuff, I go in the bathroom and I pray, or I call and talk to somebody, because everybody's phone, they work, they may not answer. My sponsor may not answer, but you know, God could and would if he were sought. But listen, I appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in. Hit that share button, because Kenny's got a powerful story and I want everybody to hear it. If you're struggling, reach out. If you need help, there's beds available all over Kentucky. It's just, I get it. You're scared of change, and you don't know how to say, I need help. That was my story. But I promise you, man, you will have some friends, a support group in recovery, man, that will go to war for you and help you. All them people was your friends on the street getting high with them, ain't your peoples, man. They don't give a damn about you. They want what you got, just like you want what they got. Well, if you're struggling, reach out, 859-300-1503. Send me a message, man. If I can't help you, I'll point you in the way to get help. But we do recover, man. Thank you all, and I'm going to close this out. And I love you all. See ya.
You ain't got cold chill, something's wrong with you. Gotta know it. You in the wrong building. Nowhere to turn.
I could really use a friend right now. Yeah, I just need a friend. I'm staring at my window pane. I'm staring at my window pane. I could use a friend. I could use a friend. I just need a friend right now. Right now. I'm staring at my window pane.
I'm counting raindrops. Like, where's God at? When will the pain stop? Like, when will this be over? How come I can't stop? I swear to God, I can't stop. I ain't believing God, still I would pray to him. When no one else around, when they brought them trays to him.